I will then ask for Robin to take the roll. I need a motion.
Motion is the
My
second.
script didn't tell me that.
Is there a board member motion to change find my licensed contractor to find a license?
I would like to make that motion.
Thank you.
Is there a second?
Second.
Now I will ask Robin to call the roll.
Michael Mark,
Aye.
Joel Martin,
Aye.
Rodney Koval, Gil Galarza,
Aye.
Mandy Gaio,
Aye.
Calvin Gaio is an excused absence. Jacob Lopez is an excused absence. Diana Love,
Aye.
Harry Nett,
Aye.
Steve Pinelli,
Aye.
Joseph Gato,
Aye.
Jim Roy,
Aye.
Thomas Ruiz,
Aye.
Mary Tiger as an excused absence. Motion passes.
Thank you. The next item is H4, review and discussion regarding career opportunities for justice-involved individuals. I again requested this agenda item during the March meeting. This item addresses career opportunities for justice-involved individuals. Now, per DCA legal, justice-involved individuals refer to people who have had interactions with the criminal justice system as a defendant. This item looks at how CSLB can assist these individuals seeking employment once their sentence has been completed. But first, I will share how the licensure process works for applicants with criminal convictions. All applicants have to be fingerprinted ahead of being licensed, which then leads to a criminal background check. Each licensed applicant is evaluated on a case-by-case basis to determine license eligibility. A criminal conviction or formal license discipline does not automatically preclude an applicant from CSLB licensure. Any arrests or convictions are sent to CSLB's criminal background staff for review before a license can be issued. If an applicant has a felony conviction for a crime that is substantially related to the duties of a licensee, the applicant may be deemed to be rehabilitated if 7 years have passed, depending on the crime. For misdemeanor convictions, an applicant may be deemed to be rehabilitated in 3 years' time. Staff also looked at the extent to which the applicant has complied with the terms of parole, probation, and restitution. Staff also looked at the applicant's work history after release from incarceration. There are no convictions that automatically preclude an applicant from licensure. However, certain convictions over the 7-year time range may be grounds for denial if the applicant was convicted for a serious felony, such as those involving violent sexual crimes or firearm conviction. If an applicant is required to be registered as a sex offender, or if the applicant was convicted for a financial crime currently defined as a felony, these may be grounds for denial. Applicants who are denied licensure can appeal that decision. My goal is to explore opportunities for those released from custody to gain employment so they do not reoffend. For many individuals, construction is a career they should consider. Perhaps they can work for 4 or more years for a licensed contractor to learn the craft and they apply for their own license. I applaud our board members with us today that represent construction trades that have programs to assist individuals who want to get construction industry experience. I understand they may be able to work within the California Prison Authority Career Technical Program, which partners individuals with trade unions, nonprofits, and construction companies to get pre-apprenticeship skills and experience. This can help with placement into apprenticeships once they have been released. The CSLB can work with the California Prison Authority to provide additional resources to assist, including a flyer or brochure. Board Chair Michael Mark has made us aware of a comprehensive pre-apprenticeship curriculum developed and approved by the Building Trades National Apprenticeship and Training Committee. Chair Mark, do you like to share some of the details about this?
Sure, thank you. So I think it all starts with a partnership. There's a lot of contractor members on this particular board that partners with unions to have a joint apprenticeship programs, better known as JADCs. One of the things that is known in the industry is the best way to help individuals get into a true apprenticeship program that is state approved that varies from 3 to 5 years. And with that, each time they progress through the program, this is a partnership with the contractor and the labor unions, where by the end of their apprenticeship program, they graduate with healthcare, with a pension, with the ability to have that living wage that this level is talking about. I think when we're talking about individuals who are trying to get into the trades, the NC3 program from that too it's better known as multi-core craft curriculum program. And it's a 6-week introductory program to all of the trades within the building trades. So within that program, they can, once they graduate, they can say, hey, I really want to be a plumber, pipe fitter. I want to be a painter. So they get the idea of a taste of every particular trade and then apply into that specific trades apprenticeship program. In the end, a full apprenticeship program is based off the amount of work in a specific area. When us as a board are talking about the underground economy, they are not offering those programs to individuals who can benefit. They are stuck in the underground economy. So in a nutshell, for us in the trades, I'm with the sheet metal works local 104. We have other members present, also with the building trades. The best way to help somebody is get them into a true apprenticeship program. 3 to 5 years, raise every 6 months, pension, healthcare, and varying degrees of success. When we're talking about uplifting individuals of minorities and women in the trades, all of that is prudent of the partnership between the contractors, which I had some contractors to my left here who sat on JADCs. We have our labor partners. So in the end, it's making sure that apprentice succeeds in life. And one thing for what I appreciate you bringing this subject up, because the start is just learning about which trade that they would like to apply to, and that's what the MC3 program does.
Thank you. I understand that Jacob Lopez and Rodney Combos has some insight on programs as well.
Yeah, fair work, just pretty much covered it, but as far as the pipe trade goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any comment?
Just comment real quick. IBW Local 11, I know has specific for formerly incarcerated individuals. It's called Second Call, Second Chance of Life. So they have every week down in the affected areas, they have formerly incarcerated individuals and training life skills and how to apply for the apprenticeship. And we've taken in quite a few. Big John Harrell's our representative. He's spoken in front of Congress many times. He was in prison for like 16 years. And then now he's like a superintendent for More Meadows, one of our largest contractors. So it just shows how far you can succeed if given a chance.
Thank you. Yes.
Now I'll speak on behalf of the laborers union. We just had a graduation of 755 apprentices throughout Southern California this past Saturday. And before every graduation, we have an alumni dinner. And so those that have graduated in the past, they'll come back, share a story of how the success of the apprenticeship changed their lives. And those stories are phenomenal. I invite those who would like to attend to see it. But and for my particular local, we had folks that were formerly incarcerated, addicted to drugs. They're now running work. The biggest thing for them was being able to take a truck home. They're like, don't you know I'm a felon? Like, don't worry about it. You're a good worker. You're working hard, right? And so to that point, the trades is a great opportunity and second chance for those individuals that are really looking to make a difference and change their lives. not just a job, but a career.
There are some great, we're partnering, so part of, also part of people we're looking for in our company, Southland, we partnered with, there's 4 prominent MC3s in the Bay Area, that are similar to their focus in regards to bringing off folks and exposing them to one a pre-apprenticeship program that exposes them to all the trades. The key to their success is they're partnering with the various trades unions to come into their place of their business to expose the kids to, not even kids necessarily, to just the industry. So whether it's learn how to be a framer, they get a touch of everything, so they can have that understanding. What do I gravitate towards? What do I want to do? What's, what am I inclined to have a passion around? And they don't know that without the partnerships. So those partnerships with the contractors are really key to the success. And that's many times what they're lacking. But there's several in the Bay Area that have a great reputation, placing students in really careers.
Any other comment?
I'll highlight one thing. When we're talking about the various apprenticeship readiness programs, that's just the very first step. But the end goal would be getting into an apprenticeship program that is based on all the different trades, 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's just a start, but it's the opening of a door, and that individual has to go through that door.
The other thing that I would add, I agree with the comments that have been made thus far. What I having worked in this area with, work closely with contractors to identify not only what are the skills, right, that folks need, and whether it's, going through an apprenticeship program and getting the technical skills that they need. But the other critical element in my experience also has to do with the wraparound support services. So as was said, before, in some cases, it may, some folks, in order for them to be successful in their trade, may require them to have, for example, a Class A driver's license. And for some that that are justice involved, there may be barriers to achieving that license or the driver's license in order to complete their functions of their job. So I think what's interesting about this effort to support more justice involved individuals would certainly be to include that direct training that they would need, and also be cognizant of the other different types of supports that that an individual may need in order to, whether it's going through an expungement clinic or, understanding what it is, what are the kind of the breadth of requirements that they would need beyond just the direct skill set. So excited to be part of this effort as a member of the Public Affairs Subcommittee and continue to work on this.
Yeah, my goal is, as I said in my script, is to keep people from being reoffended. But first and foremost, from the day that they step out of the jail cell and come out into the public again, people need to have somewhere to support their families. And they have something to look forward to, so they don't become homeless and don't have anywhere to go and nowhere to support themselves. That's when they start automatically thinking about criminal activities, whether it's stealing or whatever. But if they have hope coming out, and there's programs that you can do while you're in there to get started, and to reshape their lives and then continue as they walk out that door, I think that changes the whole persona of who they are as an individual, whether it be a male or female. So that's the goal that I wanted to achieve, to help people. So go ahead.
And to that point, I know the laborers and the carpenters both have programs in the Chino's men's prison and women's prisons for while they're in there to start learning some of the skills in order to be in any of those trades. But it more or less, it's learning the soft skills and getting up and going out and doing the activities that make them ready for the apprenticeship program, getting on a schedule and working through it. So I know the carpenters have a divers program, and we have a laborers program there. So if you're interested in any of that, let me know.
One other comment, I think that 2 weeks ago, I got received a call from a gentleman that's looking for information on what our policies are in regards to incarceration to license. And so I got some information directed into the website. I went to the website just kind of look, and it's a lot of information. Someone to read, kind of like just want to know if I'm a felon with X offense, am I in or out? Like making it really simple, not having to read like 5 paragraphs to kind of find it. So if there's a way to simplify that to make it really clear, I didn't ask, I didn't know what his was, but I assumed it was pretty serious and he may be disqualified just off the top, but wasn't a clear way for him, for me to kind of really understand that. So it's a way that we can.
Something that I had talked a little bit about to Catherine was to have like, it's like a column with bullet points, you know, if you're felony, you need this, this, and this, and if you're, you know, misdemeanor, you need this, something that's simple.
Exactly.
And then people can make phone calls to us as well if they have additional information, but I do agree with you to make it as simple and easy as possible. Any other board comments?
I think one thing that needs to be clear is to apply for a license, you need to have that journey person experience for the licensee. So that just needs to be clear today also. And I will repeat myself, throughout the state of California is really large. That's why there's local unions for that specific county usually, and a local building trades council. So there's so many of these various programs, but they're usually county based. So wherever someone's released, you go to that local building trades council website. Usually they'll provide the local MC3 apprentice readiness program.
Well, I would hope too, just to add to that, you know, as they go through this program from beginning to end apprenticeship, in a sense, they will have a mentor who will be telling them the steps to reiterate what you need to have to become a licensed contractor, and to make that perfectly clear, because that will be who they're under. So they will know the steps as well. And it would be part of those bullet points as well. At the very end, you must have this to become a licensed contractor. Any comments from, I have more public?
Comments, no, just upon contracting, you got paperwork, and just look forward to someone else make sense of it. I'll get that.
I guess we'll have someone talk to you after the meeting then.
Thank you.
Okay? So with that, I just want to ask, because it's not in my script, where do we go from here to produce a program or to get on board? There's no vote or anything. What suggestions or comments?
Yeah, I guess I haven't suggested listening to all the excellent comments. What was put in the packet was developing a flyer, having more of a roadmap to how you can gain employment in the construction industry that ultimately become licensed. That's something I know Catherine and her staff are already looking to work on, probably assign staff to it. It might be something the incoming chair would want to appoint an advisory committee to, like 2 board members, to look at this a little bit further. I mean, people at this table have a lot of experience in this area. And we heard from Member Nutt that we might need to be a little more clear on our website as to what clearly will disqualify you. So somebody doesn't make application and forfeit their application fee unnecessarily. But I will say this for the meeting today, that we've taken this very seriously. Catherine's already made this an objective for our staff. And our incoming chair sitting here, and he may want to appoint 2 people to an advisory committee to see how we can move forward.
And just one more thing I'd like to add on to that for us to look at it in public affairs, because people are coming from being incarcerated, that for us to consider waiving some of the fees that they may have to incur to get started for whatever that might be. I know we do that on a few other things. We do that for the veterans program and different things like that. So that's something for us to consider, waiving some of the fees. Yes.
Well, I'll just say the waiving of the fees would be a legislative, that would require statute. So that's not something the board could sponsor legislation to waive fees.
Okay. Okay.
It would take board to support that, the legislator introduce them, and the governor is.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Now, just to have maybe workforce developments within those communities would assist with some of those fees if they're enrolled in certain programs or whatnot. So in San Bernardino County, I said the workforce development there, and they're very proactive in assisting individuals either getting into apprenticeship programs or obtaining licenses, whether that's a Class A license, and they fill a certain requirement like re-entry, they'll assist them.
Thank you. Any other comments? Being none, that concludes the public affairs agenda items. With that, I'll turn it back to Chair Mark.
Thank you. Great report. Is there any other just general board comment today? Any other member public comment? That includes our board business for today. We have a motion to adjourn. Motion and a second. All that meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Great job.
That includes our board business for today. We have a motion to adjourn. Motion and a second. All that meeting is adjourned.